This is Rivka Isaacs. Welcome back to another Montessori moment. This week, we're going to take a backdoor into observing and understanding Montessori in our homes and in our schools. The holiday of Purim was just here, and what a holiday it was. It's so interesting. You either love it or you kind of hate it. Why is that? Why does it create such strong feelings? What determines what we feel about it? So I had a thought that I wanted to share. It really depends a lot on the type of person you are. Are you the spontaneous kind of person? Or are you a more structured type of person? Do you plan or do you play it by ear? Do you go with the flow or do you need to know where the flow will go? And since we're already asking these questions, what's the best for us as parents to be? To be spontaneous or to be structured? And what do we want for our children? You'll hear a lot of talk about the need for consistency in our lives. We need to sort of understand the value it has for adults. It helps us create ways to get things done. That's what structure and consistency can do for us. And this is important, right? Just think about it. The next time the water or the electricity gets turned off because we didn't schedule or budget our payment. It also helps in our day-to-day life. It organizes what needs to get done, and it helps shape the way our days look. It helps us prioritize what should get done, especially when we have so much on our plates. It helps focus us to see what needs to get done and what's being done also, so that we can compare and make sure that we're meeting long-term and short-term goals. Being consistent, being structured, allows us to meet our family's needs. Shopping to have food in the house on a regular basis so our children can eat and we can cook Shabbos. Doing laundry on a regular basis so our families dress in clean clothes every day. Scheduled downtime, whether it's for davening or for learning or tehillim, for a walk or a nap. It allows us to stay healthy and to take care of ourselves and those we love. Creating consistency and structure can truly help our sanity. Just knowing that there is a time and a place for everything gives us a feeling of calmness, and it feels also secure. Reliability helps build trust and confidence within our families. They know when certain things get done, and they can count on that. They know they can get a snack or milk from the fridge because someone has made sure that it is there. For children, this is especially important. It's the basis of their earliest feelings of security, stability, and routine. Those of us who have been around a while understand that things don't always run smoothly, and we can handle it as adults. But many times, a child can feel overwhelmed or scared about these changes and differences in their environment. We often see this in young children whose mom has had a new baby. Suddenly that which is familiar to them, meaning the way mom's routine and her schedule is, changes because dad, who's a wonderful sport, steps in and takes on the additional roles. He may be doing some of mom's jobs, but it's not always like mom does it. Children can respond with anger, a meltdown, crying. It's a natural insecurity and the need for consistency in the child. It takes maturity and a feeling of overall security to accept change, as well as maturity in a child's neurological system. In children that have trouble with this, there are additional ways to help them through this process. Perhaps we can address this at a different time. So now that we've discussed so much about the importance of consistency, of structure, what about being spontaneous? Spontaneous people often exhibit creativity because they don't plan and think about what must come next. They just do something. And let's face it, life does not always go as planned. People who understand that even plan B and sometimes plan C, D, and E sometimes fall through are going to live with less stress when it happens. They have less trouble when something doesn't turn out the way they expected. It may be easier for them to adapt and or simply move on to the next thing that life has in store for them. There's less of the letdown when plans fall through, less disappointment, since many times disappointment and frustration are connected to not having our expectations met. So which are you, and what should you aim to be? So the first step is to know who you are and know who your children are. Once you know that, there needs to be a balance because too much one way or the other way is not healthy for anyone. We all know people who are imbalanced one way or the other, and usually it causes them a lot of difficulty in their life. This could be why Purim is so not loved by some. It's often a crazy, spontaneous kind of holiday. And isn't it interesting how Pesach is a totally structured holiday? Everything has to be cleaned and made just so. We need to be extra careful of every crumb of food. Even the meal at night is called the Seder, the organized meal. It's got to unfold in a certain order. Do you suppose that there's more to this transition from Purim to Pesach than meets the eye? I'll leave you to think about that. Our children need this balance too, and guess what? We need to be role models in this. It's like a muscle. The more we practice, the more we will grow. Most of us are born with an innate disposition to one way or the other. We all know children who are strongly toward one of the extremes. The child who can never find their clothing and is always late. The other child who has great difficulty when the usual Mora isn't in Gan because things aren't going to be done the way they should be done. Our job is somehow to show them both points of view and when to use each. The Gemara tells us that a Talmid Chacham needs to be both as rigid as a rod, but as flexible as a reed. It's a matter of when, but we need to have both tools in our skill set. For a child that can't be on time, there are many ways to help them. You can help them lay out the clothes their night before, giving them a timer to challenge them to beat the clock. For a child who hates when the teacher is out, practice talking about what good can be seen in a situation, what fun might be had by trying something new. There are definitely other techniques and ways to help your child, and maybe yourself too, find that balance. So, if you wanted more ideas, reach out to me. I'd love to share them with you. Thanks for joining us today for another Montessori moment. Please like us. Please look at the information that's going to be coming so that you can check out our school. Also, if you have any other questions or thoughts, don't hesitate to share them with us. Have a great night. Bye.